I'm sure if you smile, everything will be okay. Does that mean take as many as possible or hope for the best?
That means you can typically Google the place that you're going to, and it will say on their website somewhere.
You didn't have to explain.
But I did.
And why did I type that? Mysteries of the Universe?
I don't know.
It's just something I've noticed.
I just realized I responded to a question you directed at the universe. Even I think that's a little cocky.
Were you in the other room earlier when people were talking about TI and FI?
Um,
I was just wondering
no, I mean,
if
I
you
don't
knew
think.
when that happened and trying to find it on the Raw channel. Wait, was it a live stream?
Oh, yeah, I think that was like 24 hours ago, wasn't it? Little less, maybe.
Okay, well, I haven't slept, so that's possible. Audra, perhaps you could provide a summary of previous topics.
Oh, is that the TI conversation? Yeah, that was this afternoon sometime. It was about
Yeah. I
6
don't know
hours.
what day it is anymore.
Yeah, it was me and Jacob talking to people.
Sorry, I'm going to need an introduction to who Jacob is.
The Swedish ENTP. Met
I
him.
don't know what Swedes sound like.
Like it is.
Oh dear.
I think that's what they sound like.
Kinda. I'm trying to remember what kind of how the topic came up because that seemed important. Oh, it was basically, I think, we were talking about how we arrive. Somebody was saying that we had these logical chains of thought that produced our opinions, and we were explaining how they were tied down to some. They said that they were, anchored to some sort of subjective judgment, and we were talking about how it's that TI pinning down of something, and that our opinions are just kind of built up evidence over time, and that they're always game to be readjusted. There's just kind of like pinned down, I call them principles or whatever, things that you've very raw, basic sorts of things you've prioritized down at the bottom. Yeah, those anchors that you can build the logic chains off of and stuff. And you can logic back to them. Like, that's what I do a lot is when somebody asks me my opinion on something, I'll try to find its way back to one of the core things and see how it stands against that.
It just made me think, what happens when the anchors of your TI are found to be incorrect?
And you change them.
Then is there really a correct answer after all?
I don't know.
I'm just having trust issues. I'll be fine.
No. I would say that within my own head, like, nothing is absolutely confirmed ever. It's just the most proved up to a point. It's the most consistent or seemingly correct up to any point given up to the current time.
Absolute enough to argue, though.
Right. Well, you can't argue without saying it's absolute. I think.
I'm just trying to understand it. It was an interesting conversation anyway. I quite enjoyed it. Thanks.
That's good. I'm glad. It was an interesting conversation because I've thought before, but I've never really talked about it too much out loud.
It sounded like you did, so.
It's mostly talking in my own head. I've spent too many hours sitting on like a tractor for, all day long.
A real tractor.
What'd you say? Yeah.
Cool. I'm terrified of tractors. I can't do it. I have to do everything manually with wooden tools and stuff.
Oh my god, that sounds tedious.
It is, and the amount of effort that I put in is not worth it, but I just cannot get over my fear of machinery, so.
Well, I'm assuming that because over there you tend to operate on a slightly smaller scale than over here, where I live.
Oh yes, it's only a small area of land.
Yeah.
7 or 8 acres.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing huge.
You can get away without a tractor, I guess.
It's so much easier though with a little bit of mechanical help.
Yeah. Well, like where I live and my parents, where we farm, we do circular irrigation, and it's all flat, and each field is about 120 acres.
Wow. I can't even
My-
imagine.
Yeah, and my close family, like my immediate family, like the most we ever farmed, I think at a time was like 21 circles. So we're down to probably 10 circles that we're farming. But, yeah. I've got plows and tractors that I can make like one round in the field that probably covered the 8 acres or something. I spent a lot of days. Yeah, we always have to hope it rains, but it doesn't rain.
Come to England, it rains every day.
Honestly, the last time I went to England a few years ago, and it had been just like flooding, and then when I was there, it didn't hardly rain at all.
Excuse me a while.